So you're thinking about tapping into your home equity and you just don't know where to start. Well, let me be a guide for you to help give you some things you need to think about and some tips to pay attention to when you're shopping for options to pull equity out of your home. First and foremost, not all banks are created equal. You would think, hey, I'll just go to the bank that I work with for my banking and they'll take great care of me. Or I'll go to the bank who's taking care of my primary mortgage and they'll take great care of me. That's just not true. Okay, now your bank may do a great job with home equity loans or lines of credit, but they may not. Here's the most important thing to remember. Every bank's product is different, which is the complete opposite of when you got your mortgage. When you got your mortgage, you typically did an FHA loan or a conventional loan, and every bank had the same guidelines. You were just trying to figure out who you trusted to take care of you, and every bank had pretty close to the same interest rates for your primary mortgage as well. But home equity loans are more tailored to the bank's appetite. And so when you go to a bank and say, hey, I want a home equity loan or line of credit, the challenge is you're only offered what that bank has to sell you. It's kind of like going to In-N-Out Burger and saying, you know what? I'm not sure what I feel like. Let's see what's on the menu. Guess what? If you're going to In-N-Out Burger, you are getting a hamburger. That's it. You're getting a hamburger. There is nothing else at In-N-Out Burger but hamburgers. So understand, you go to your bank and they say, oh, well, we only have this product and we can only loan you this much money. Or you have to have this credit score. You have to have this or that. Those rules are particular to that bank. So John, how do I solve this problem? Well, the number one tip is talk to somebody who can shop multiple banks. Now, in my world, I am what's called a mortgage banker. That means my company is not a bank, but we actually lend money directly from the federal government. But in cases of home equity loans and lines of credit, we have options internally from companies we have direct relationships with. I also have the option to broker to outside companies. And finally, if I'm not the right solution for you, I'm going to tell you that. And I'm going to connect you with a bank who is the right solution for you. Now, why would I do that? Because I want to earn your trust down the road when it's time to consolidate the new equity loan you did together with the primary mortgage that you have. And that's really something that is my second tip that you've got to consider. You have to consider when you're getting a home equity loan or line of credit, how long am I going to keep this loan? A lot of people say, I should just get a line of credit. But the fact is, most people, a line of credit's a horrible idea. You're paying interest only. It's a variable interest rate when the truth is, it's good only for people who know they're going to borrow the money and pay it back quickly, and then they need to borrow it again and pay it back quickly again. So if you're in the situation where you just need to pay off your credit cards, you need to get home improvements, you want to build an ADU, you need to take a home equity loan. Fixed interest rate, fixed principal and interest payment. You can still spread it out over 30 years, but at some point in time, there'll be a tipping point. That tipping point is in two ways. First of all, as interest rates come down, there'll be a tipping point that said it's better to put the two loans together. But the second thing about the tipping point is there's a loan amount tipping point. I got a call from a client last week, and that client said, John, I want to take out a $250,000 home equity loan or line of credit. And I said, great, tell me about your primary mortgage. And they said, well, I owe $50,000 on the loan, and I don't want to touch that. Well, the problem is the interest rate's a lot higher on home equity loans and lines of credit. And I helped show him the math that said it doesn't make sense to keep a low rate on 50 grand and take a high rate on 250 grand, borrow it all together as one loan. So if you're looking for options and you want somebody to guide you, give me a call. I'll either have options myself or I can point you in the right direction.